Hello, everyone. This is John Maddox. I know I said with the last post I put up here on YouTube that maybe I would put these out once a month, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what's called hitting the wall. And one of the reasons why I'm training on a 3 week on, 1 week off, the reason why I'm doing that is, traditionally I used to, for a long time, would train. I do high intensity training. All right. So I've developed my own Mike Mentzer stuff, and I was doing it, and I've been doing it since 1990, since I figured it out. And I figured out before I even knew that Mike Mentzer existed. To me, it just made common sense. It's an easy way to train. You can recuperate from it, and then you don't have to spend as much time in the gym. Everything with me is about minimizing the effort I have to put forth in trying to get the maximum results. So understand that in a month, I train 6 times. All right, I've combined my whole upper body workout and I've combined my whole lower body workout. I train twice a week. So Tuesday I do my lower body, and then Friday I do my upper body. And and because I train some of the Mike Mentzer, I usually, after I do my warm-up exercise, whether it's bench, whether it's squats, whether it's deadlift, even though you're squatting, deadlifting on the same day, you think your legs are warmed up, but your upper body for handling weight isn't warmed up. So you still, even though you work all yourself all the way up with the squat, then you can do, like I said, for boards, you can go to no boards, you can go to half squat, pin positions, you can do negatives, right? Once you work yourself up, you only need to do one set of those, right? You don't have to be doing a whole bunch of boards again. I mean, pin positions or negatives. Like I said, I only do one negative. If I'm doing a negative, it is one time, and that's it. You don't do multiple negatives. I don't see that, especially as a drug-free athlete, being a responsible thing to do. You pick up for one negative. And the thing that was impacting me here more recently that I was paying attention to, especially my bench, where I was kind of doing the boards, every week for a while, because I kept pushing. I wanted this 385 board press so bad that I was overtraining. So even though I'm training 6 times a month, I was overtraining. All right. So I dropped back for this last 3 weeks that I did on the bench. So the first week, even though I was sick, I was going to drop back anyways. I did 245 for 5. And then the following week, I did 245 for 8. No boards, right? No board pressing at all. And I saved my boards for the third week. And so even though I was a little beat up, my legs were completely overtrained. So sometimes your upper body can be totally different from your lower body. So when I went to do my lower body work on Tuesday of this past week, I had nothing in the tank. It's called hitting the wall. I was done. I went up and 6 plates buried me. So normally when 6 plates can bury you, for me, where I'm at strength level wise, it's time to stop. But I still went through and worked my deadlifts up to 7 plates. And for some stupid reason, I decided to try 785 for fun. So, but it didn't even move off the pins. So I was just done. So when you hit the wall, your body knows it, and it's noticeable because everything aches. Your body weight is down if you're weighing yourself that day. You feel the fatigue. So that's one of the reasons why I like taking that week off, because in the past, when I used to train 4 weeks, that fourth week I would always be hitting the wall. But sometimes if you're hitting it harder, like me, I got sick that first week back. Well, that really wreaks havoc on your recuperation capabilities coming in sick, because your body's already not at where it's supposed to be. And then you're going to push it hard for 3 weeks. So it made sense that because I really hit it hard that first week. And even though I was trying to set back a little bit in the second week, 6 plates was hard in that second week to get 6 plates. And then, like I said, I missed it in the third week. So the legs were overtrained. So, and you can hit the wall in the third week, even though you would normally see it happening to you in the fourth week. So, but the reason why I went to 3 weeks and 1 week off, because having a week in your training where you hit the wall, you're really not accomplishing anything. You're not hitting PRs. Your body's beat up. Your body needs to rest. So that's why I started taking my fourth week off for that rest week, knowing that if I pushed it anymore in that fourth week, I'd be hitting the wall anyways. So the wall, you can hit the wall in the third week. So fortunately, with my board pressing, I actually did the 385 that I've been trying for months now, that I was overtraining on. So I dropped back for 2 weeks, right? And didn't do any board work. And I easily put up 385 when I did the board work here, even though my wheels were overtrained. My upper body, because I laid back on it, it was not overtrained. And I actually, I mean, everything I did just kept going up, going up. I put the 385 down. I didn't even think it was 385. I just blew it up. So, and I know some stuff can be mental sometimes, but the fact that I did it, I did as easy as I did, and I did it by just dropping back and not pushing hard anymore. I was overtraining. Even though I'm only training 6 times a month, I was overtraining and I caught it. So, and like I said, I get this week off next week, and then I'm back, and then I'm going to lay everything out here, hit it. Like I said, my plans to hit it hard in the first week, except for the bench. Bench is still going to be no board pressing first week, second week. Board pressing is only in the third week. And then now I get to start working for 4 or 5, which would be the most I've ever board pressed from a 2 board. 385 was just the most I've done since October of 22. In October of 22, I actually did 400. And so doing 4 or 5 would be officially the most I've ever board pressed. So, but from a 2 board, with a 3 board, I've done over 4. I know I've done at least 415 with a 3 board back then. But you know, I like my setup now because I'm really not, you know, trying to, you know, cut everything out. I'm just trying to lay in the bench where it feels comfortable and do it. That's kind of what I've been, you know, trying to get at. I didn't want it to be where I have to have this optimal form to be able to do it. I want it just to be at any given day. If I bring the weight down, I can press it up. So, so the plan going forward here, right? Let's try to not get sick. Because getting sick, just really when you do high intensity type work, getting sick can set you back. So, because as soon as you lose body weight, I know with me, I have to fight to gain body weight. You know, I put a video in here in regards to what I'm doing in regards to diet. That it really hasn't changed. So, you know, I'm not, you know, doing any of the pasta type stuff. I've been doing a can of the pears, and the can of the pears is really what helped me to blow up and start gaining the weight. And it's a lot easier to do to pop a lid and pour it in a bowl than it is to cook a pan full of pasta. Then you got to clean the pan, and the pasta wasn't putting the weight on, and it's really just all sugary carbs anyways. So, you know, I tend to like to eat more just natural food, right? If it's processed food, like a noodle is a processed food. I know people don't think of it like that, but it's processed. The cheese technically is processed. So, but I do have some cheese with breakfast because, you know, for the fats and stuff like that. I do a handful of olives, usually with dinner, you know, for some quality fats. I'm obviously getting fats in, you know, because I like to eat bacon with my eggs in the morning with breakfast. Then I'm also, you know, eating 2 steaks a day. So, and plus I'm doing a handful of olives. So, and, you know, I'm trying to do everything I can to watch my diet. I do, you know, do a thing of carrots and broccoli usually every day. That's with dinner. I'm usually eating some, you know, with breakfast, I have a banana. You know, lunch is pretty flexible because I just got to have that meal being flexible for what I do for a living as a CPA. If I got to meet someone, not meet somebody. So lunch can be anything. But I tend to always try to mix protein and carbs together. Dinner, I have the pears, right? I have the vegetables. And then with my 4th meal during the day, I usually will have an orange, you know, with another steak, and then I'll drink a muscle milk for extra calories on top of everything. So hitting the wall is a real thing. And then look what I did. I was literally overtraining here, pushing, because I'm wondering why I'm not, you know, hitting a record in the squat for a long time, because I was overtraining, doing too much in that second week. So moving forward here, I'm going to really drop back in the second week of my squat. I'm not going to shoot for 6 plates anymore. I'm going to just hit a 500. Let's lay back, you know, do some of the assistant stuff I'm not doing in week 1 and week 3, and see how that plays into everything. So I think I was just pushing too hard, and it was stalling me. And that's what it gets frustrating when you're training, when you can't move to that next level. Then you start thinking about steroids, you start thinking about this other stuff. I don't think a lot of people understand that you can overtrain only working out 6 times a month like I was doing. So I now am setting back a little bit. The bench, look, with just in a couple of weeks, I finally get to 385 in the 2 board, which I've been trying for months, just pushing, and my body was overtraining. And I've been trying to push on the squat, doing negatives every single week, you know, and it's wasn't going anywhere. So I have a feeling it's the same thing with my squat. I was just overtraining, pushing too hard. So I'm going to set back a little bit. and see if that makes the difference with my squat and my deadlift. So anyways, it's John Maddox. Just want to let you know, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to post some more videos here, some more YouTube shorts. Like I said, hopefully after my week off coming in, I can really show you some good deadlifting videos, because I know I can pull the 800 pounds from the 4.5 position. Just understand, I'm squatting my full squat workout before I deadlift. That's why I pull from 4.5 inches. For a while there, I was doing 7. 7 was a mistake. I noticed that at the meet that I tried to do in July. It's a little too high. 4.5 position forces you to use your leg drive in your deadlift. It sounds crazy, just a difference of 2.5 inches. But being up that extra 2.5 inches puts you in a different position for trying to deadlift. So the 4.5 inches is a good position to be at, forces your leg drive for you to be able to move the weight. And then you can always, if you're having a tough time, just pull one of those wood platforms off. I was literally standing on 2 of them. If you don't notice it, each one's about 2.5 inches. You just flip one off, and next thing you know, you're at 7 inches, flip another one off, you're at 9.5 inches. So you can pull from many different positions very easily by using platforms, those wood platforms in the metal platforms. But I'm glad I was able to put those videos out there for people to see when I'm talking about these platforms that I use for my lifting and how that helps you to do different positions. So I know there's some very successful powerlifters, and the only thing they're doing is just deadlifting and squatting and benching. They're not using partial positions like we are. But some people are using change and bands, which just is another way to do partials. And then some people do partials in pins in the rack. I just don't recommend that for deadlifts because people bend bars. And if you're going to do them, set them at the right place. Like me, when I squat, you're going to see that when I come down, I squat to a pin. And I do it on purpose because I don't want to have a situation where I lose my footing, something happens, and then I'm crushing myself or I'm dumping the weight. I'd like to always know that I got a place to set that weight down at, and that I don't get injured, I don't damage the equipment. All right, but the pins in the rack are not for dropping weights on them. You're going to bend the pins and you will bend the bar that you're using. Never drop stuff in the rack. All right, it's a no-no. So set them. Like we used to do partial deadlifts in the rack for many, 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 many years. We do the negative slowly. All right, and set it in the rack. You see these people in the gym, they were literally deadlift the weight. They will drop it in the pins. And then they bend the pins and they bend the bar. All right. It's just simple. Don't do that. Okay. But anyways, everyone, we're seeing you after my week break here, where hopefully I show you much more impressive deadlifting when I'm not sick. See ya on the next one.